I'll be around the office.
Okay, thank you so much. I just did my run through in the performance space with the slideshow on the projector, and so basically the slideshow is way too long. I overestimated the timing of the music. I thought it would be about 65 to 75 minutes, but actually it was really only 50. Of course, I'll probably need to leave more time in between each caprice than I did when I played it through, because I want to introduce each caprice to the audience and tell the little story behind each one. There might be even a few anecdotes about Sonia that I need to speak about as well, or that I want to. So, you know, we're looking at about 50 to 60 minutes. I've also decided that instead of speaking a lot in between each caprice, I think I'm gonna speak a lot at the beginning of the performance before I start actually playing. I'll introduce Sonia, I'll talk about her life, not every detail, but like the important ones. And also just kind of introduce the conception of the project and how I came to the whole idea and came to be here. I like speaking to audiences. I know lots of people don't, but it makes me feel like I've broken the ice with them a little bit. Once I've stopped kind of speaking about all of that, then the guy who's gonna help me run the slideshow, he's gonna just press play and yeah, we're just gonna go and perform them. But yeah, after playing all 10 caprices through in one go, I'm pretty much starving, so I'm gonna go get some lunch. Hey guys, I'm gonna try this new camera angle, see how it works, because I'm sick of not being able to see myself because my camera doesn't have a flip screen, and then seeing the clips and they're all because of the low lighting and the out of focus and all of that. So let's try this and see if it's any better. So I thought I would just kind of fill you in a little bit on what's been going on because it's Friday of week 2. What? Ugh, why is the time going so quick in my favorite place? Anyway, yeah, a lot's happened this week. So I think the last time I spoke to you was just after I'd done my run through on Tuesday morning. So on Tuesday night, I played in the sharing circle and I played my favorite of the caprices, which is number 6, El Pajarito, and I think it went down pretty well. My peers and colleagues seemed to be really interested. They started asking lots of questions about the other caprices and about Sonia, and I didn't want to tell them too much because I really want them to come to the actual concert, which is on Saturday night, tomorrow night. But I hope I gave them enough of a teaser to make them want to come. On Wednesday, I had my one-to-one session with Caroline Shaw, and it was just brilliant. I'm just her new biggest fan. She hears music in such a unique way as a composer, but also as a violinist, because violin is actually her instrument, although she sings and plays piano and a million other things too. So she was able to give me some really cool feedback, kind of the effects that she would be looking for as a composer, that would make my performance more effective. It gave me a lot to think about. And it was really cool because the more I sort of told her about Sonia, the more kind of fired up she got about the music and about the whole project. And it was really cool because I learned which anecdotes and which little stories about Sonia were most interesting to her. So those are going to be the ones that I use on my audience on Saturday night. Yeah, it was interesting to kind of gauge which stories kind of spiked interest and which kind of just fell flat, to be honest. So yeah, that was a really good practice at speaking about Sonia. I also started to tell Caroline a lot about Sonia's experiences as a woman, particularly when she moved to Canada in the 50s and became this like North American 1950s housewife. And that kind of led me into asking Caroline about her experiences as a woman, particularly as a composer. And Caroline had some really interesting things to say. She kind of said that since the 50s, this industry has almost gone like the other way. And so Caroline has often been labeled as like the token woman, which is just like crazy. And Caroline has said that, you know, she is really confident, so she is able to look at a piece of her work and just say, no, that's really good work. That I'm here because I'm talented and I have ability and not because I'm a woman. But at the same time, she knows that she has been labeled by her colleagues as the token woman, and it's just bullshit, to be honest. Another thing that we talked about was this kind of freedom that I heard from Sonia's recording. I told Caroline about listening to that record and like how things didn't sound as they were written or notated on the page, but that, you know, Sonia had this sense of real freedom and almost sometimes improvisation. And Caroline said that that was really interesting to her because she's often felt as a composer that, you know, you can't notate freedom. Once you write down an idea, that's it, it's written down. It's really hard to instruct a player to play freely without like notating it in a way that they will like learn that notation. And yeah, I'm so guilty of that. I've pretty much been trained to follow the score and follow what's in front of me exactly as I see it. You know, whether it's Mozart or Beethoven or like anything. And that's definitely how I've approached these Caprices too. And I've definitely tried to stay completely true to what I see on the page in front of me. But now I'm trying to think completely differently. It's kind of a life-changing moment. Like, Caroline even said that for her, she wouldn't even approach Mozart in that way. She trusts that composers like Mozart or whoever, they probably wanted players to play more freely and probably didn't notate everything exactly as they wanted. So yeah, this really is a whole new way of thinking for me. And in my practice today, I really tried to just let myself go, just rid myself of my own limitations of the score, basically, and just try and let myself be free to just live in the moment, play in the moment, play what I want to play, look for sounds that I want to hear, and therefore create a performance of this music which is truly mine and truly individual and unique and will never be the same twice. And yeah, I would be really proud of myself if I managed to do something like that tomorrow night in the concert. It's just started snowing. Anyway, and then last night, Thursday night, I got up the courage to play in the open mic night at McLab Bar, which is the bar on campus here. And I think it went all right. I played a couple of the Caprices. I played sort of the two Spanishy ones, number 4 and number 5. I felt really weird or kind of like a bit naked because before me, all these like singer-songwriters and bands who are really used to playing those kind of gigs and used to talking into microphones and, you know, getting the audience all fired up, they had all gone before me, and then like I got up and I've never really done anything like that before, so I was just me and my violin. I felt like very alone, but no, it was totally fine. It was a nice experience. I'm glad I did it, and I would do it again. I've just had a meeting with the people who are going to be recording me next week. I haven't talked much about that yet, but because I've been so focused on Saturday night's performance, actually they will also be audio recording Saturday night, but we had a meeting primarily to discuss the recording next week. So the recording is going to be in the big hall here, which is called Ralston Hall, and we talked about sort of different setups because you know, different setups, especially in that hall, can produce different sounds. I hadn't really thought about that, but lots of the Caprices have, I mean, you'll probably know this by now, having heard a few of them in these videos, but they have very different sounds. Like number 2, the trick one, is obviously very staccato, and it might suit a more dry acoustic. But for example, number 10, which is clager, bell, I always think of like church bells when I play that. So that might suit a much bigger resonance and make it sound actually like church bells. So yeah, I think we're going to experiment a little bit, try different positions in the hall and see what works for what Caprice. So that's about it for now. There's a concert tonight, Caroline Shaw's concert, and I can't wait to see what she does. I think she's going to do some singing. She did a workshop with us yesterday where she got us all singing these beautiful rounds that she'd written, and it felt so good to sing and get in touch with the group here somehow. Like, yeah, it felt really good, so I can't wait for that. And then tomorrow night's the big concert, so I'll probably check in with you again before then, but for now, that's it.